Okay, hello everyone. My name is Mike Wynn. I'm from the University of Houston downtown. Currently pursuing my MBA in leadership. Today, we're here representing the National Millennial community as a community of millennials from across the nation with diverse backgrounds from multiple universities from coast to coast with members also in Alaska and Hawaii as well. And we're here to try to change the conversation regarding misconceptions and perceptions around millennials and, how we work and how we think and what we do. I'd like to also introduce Lauren, my co-host for the show.
Yeah, hi. My name is Lauren Alverman, and I'm from the University of Delaware. And our topic today is how millennials fuel trends. But before we get into that, let's have everybody else introduce themselves.
My name is Tessa, and I'm from West Virginia. I go to Shepherd University, and I am a communications major.
And my name is Mylan. I am from New York City, and I graduated from the Fashion Institute of Technology.
Hi, guys. I'm Jessica. I'm from Tennessee Tech University, and I'm studying marketing.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so before we get into this conversation, I have a question for everybody.
Let's hear it.
So, thanks, Jessica. So, what's the first thing you think of when you hear anybody talk about millennials and trends? I'll go first to break the ice. Kylie Jenner. It's the first thing I think about.
I think about memes.
Memes.
Dank memes.
Okay, memes. Yes. Anybody else?
I think about social media and viral videos.
Yes. Like how something goes from like 1,000 views to 1 billion views overnight.
Yes, and like the trends of like, for example, the mannequin challenge. They became a thing and everybody hit on it. So they quickly became a viral video.
It's like I think I'm like ready to do one trend, like the ice bucket challenge, and there's a new one, and I just can't keep up. So, but yeah, it's sort of interesting how, the main things you hear about are like technology and social media and Kylie Jenner. And a lot of those things have to do with the technology that we have, like our smartphones and Facebook. But I think that before we can actually even answer the question of how we fuel these trends, I think we need to discuss trends that are happening that are unique to millennials in our lives, maybe how that plays into how something might become viral. So there are 3 ongoing trends pertaining to millennials in this era, and we're going to go through them a little bit and have everyone share some stories. So the first one is the I'll do it later attitude. That's what I like to call it. So delaying marriage, delaying buying a car, delaying buying a house. So does anyone have any direct experience with why we think we do this?
For me personally, and this is Jessica speaking, as far as the whole renting versus owning thing, well, I just find the need that I'm just a single college student. I don't find the need to actually own a home right away. Also, I don't find a need to try to hurry up and get a home once I graduate. I think renting is the best thing for me right now. I think a lot of millennials, or just me in general, find that there's a lot of commitment with owning a home. And I like to be very mobile. You can't just pack up and just leave a house at any moment like you could an apartment. So just having that flexibility to say, you know what, I think I want to move to Houston, or I think I want to move to California. You don't have a house to try to sell or put on the market. It's a lot easier to get out of a lease than it is to try to get out of a home mortgage or trying to sell a house just to get away. You can just instantly get up and go.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that maybe plays into a little bit of like, there's like a stereotype with millennials that we're not loyal and we don't stick with something for too long. But maybe it's because we have to have so many cross-functional skills and work in so many different environments because we don't really have a safety net. We're probably not going to have pensions and we have to move around from company to company. Mike, I know you work at AT&T right now, and is that something you're worried about?
Not quite as much,
Okay.
but it is something that's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I delayed owning my own home for quite some time. Probably delayed marriage a little bit longer than I should have. And I think that was just out of precaution of making sure that it was, buying the home was at the right time in the right place. So I definitely understand what Jessica's saying in terms of that commitment of owning your own home and kind of getting invested and settling down and having roots there. So I definitely see, that aspect of it. And and how we're fueling some of those trends, because there's some byproducts to that. There's byproducts to the banking industry, the mortgage industry, with Millennial and the trends and kind of how they're communicating to us and their value proposition. So I definitely see that that's something that's happening in the marketplace right now, and people are reacting to that, and companies are trying to figure out how can they, reach me at the right moment to be able to give me a product or a solution that works best for me. And sometimes it's hard for me because I don't know how to articulate that, because sometimes I don't know what I want at that particular time as well. So I can kind of give a good general idea of what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling. But, definitely need to be able to articulate that with the companies to better help them understand what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. This I'll do it later attitude, I think, is brand new. I mean, baby boomers before us were getting married mid to early 20s. And,
right.
I can't imagine getting married anytime soon. I don't know about anybody else, but besides you, Mike. But so, that's sort of tied into the second point with this life without a debt attitude, which is, probably not having a pension and prolonged stable employment. Does anybody here think that they'll work for one company for their whole life?
I'm Tessa, and I kind of think that as a millennial, I feel like we're always looking for the next best and brightest thing, whether it be technology, whether it be a job. So I think that kind of contributes into how we view workplace. We're always looking for kind of the next step up, and if we can't get that within a company that we're at, we may look for it in other companies. Mm-hmm. So I really think that kind of, it's not so much that we're not dedicated or we're not hardworking, it's just that we kind of seek that gratification. If we can't find it, we go somewhere else to find it.
Mm-hmm. And I think we've touched on this a lot today, but the idea of this instant gratification, that we're just used to it, getting that sounds bad, but getting responses from companies immediately online and whatever. So, I don't think many of us are willing to wait 15, 20 years in a company to get a huge promotion, with at least sticking with one company.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And so the last topic is significance. So having to do that with the fact that work is no longer just a place to make a dollar. Does anyone have any stories about why they chose their job, or does it have any significance to you? I'll go.
Marlon speaking.
No,
I'm actually at the point where I am ready to purchase a home and property, because I am on in my 30s. So I have found a job where I do see myself staying for some time, possibly retiring. So I have a different perspective. I'm not at that age where I can jump around anymore. I'm not at that age where I can continue to work from place to place. I think you do get to a point as a millennial where you have to say, okay, it's time to take a seat and figure out exactly where am I going in life and what kind of career do I want. So I think I'm at that point.
So you think you'll stay with your company for...
Absolutely.
Okay.
You get to that point. When you get to your 30s, it's time to figure it out. There is no room for mistake at that point. So you need to find you a company. If it takes you 10 years, you have to say, okay, I'll be here from 30 to 40. So your decision making with jobs becomes a little bit more serious, because you're older. You can't go to the Gap. You can't go to Forever 21. You're looking at these, younger millennials, and there's a disconnect. So you have to find a job that's appropriate for your age and your peers and your group. So that's just my, opinion on far as finding a company.
No,
I think that's a great perspective, especially being diverse, right? I mean, we're all millennials, but I'm on a different perspective, on a different scale, and so are you, and we're in different stages. And I think that's part of fueling the changing the conversation mentality of what we're trying to accomplish out there, right? Tessa, did you have something that you wanted to add?
Well, I kind of agree with both Mylan and Mike. I have a sister, and my sister is 12 years older than me, so we both fall into the millennial category. She has been a beautician since she was, 18. And then recently, about a year ago, she got a job working at an oncology center. And so she's been helping with cancer patients. And so she just decided that she wanted to pursue her nursing degree. And she's 32, I'm 20. And she, like Mylan, has just finished, just realized, where she wants to be, where she wants to go with everything that she's doing. And so I guess I'm kind of looking forward to figuring that out, because right now it's kind of scary. I mean, as a millennial, just kind of starting to enter the workforce, it's kind of a scary thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I guess my question to Mylan and Mike might be, since you're both in stable careers right now, do you find significance in what you do on a day-to-day basis at your work?
Absolutely. Mylan speaking, 100%. I feel like before my job, I just was figuring things out and seeing what I can gain from each experience. But ultimately, I knew that it was just a job. I knew that I didn't want a career at certain companies. I was just paying bills. And then there comes a point where something clicks and you say to yourself, okay, I put myself through school, and ultimately the goal was a career. So I cannot keep accepting these jobs. And it became at one point where the jobs were so easy to get. And that's when I knew I was like, okay, I'm getting older, because I remember when you would apply for a job, you would be nervous. Mm-hmm. Then I was like, I'm going to get that job. I would apply for a job and I'll be like, I'll get it. I know if I was to apply for certain companies that they would call me back in a heartbeat, or they would say, you have too much experience. There's no point of us even hiring you. So something clicks once you start to get over the hill of 25.
Yeah, so this is Mike. I've been with AT&T for 14 years. So yes, there is a lot of significance in what I do. In being able to lead, a workforce and train and hire and develop and grow a team, as well as, working for an organization that really gives back to the community and really does something significant in the community, which is to keep people connected, essentially anywhere and everywhere that they work and live. So that's really important to me, to be able to be part of something much larger for the greater good of what we do, and being able to provide those products and services, and also impact people's lives with that.
Definitely. Well, I think we've had a really great conversation about maybe the reasons why we fuel trends, and maybe some things that are not so obvious. So maybe not viral marketing or viral videos, but why we don't buy houses. But so with that, I'd like to thank my co-host Mike and my guests, Tessa, Mylan, and Jessica. We want to thank our listeners, and we are truly seeking to change the conversation that revolves around the millennial generation. And your support and feedback will only help us grow and prosper as the generation evolves. If there is anything else you'd like to learn more about, who we are, what we do, please visit nationalmillennialcommunity.com. We would love to continue this conversation with you. So please come visit.